It says, but to him, Romans 4 and 5, but to him that worketh not, but believeth on him that justifieth the ungodly, his faith is counted for righteousness.
Keep going, Baba Gishah.
Even as David also describeth the blessedness of the man to whom the Most High imputed righteousness without works, saying, blessed are they whose iniquities are forgiven, and whose sins are covered. Blessed is the man in whom the Lord will not impute sin.
Salaki, and that's heavy because all Abraham did was obey, and that was imputed unto him as righteousness. Because we've committed. Remember, the scripture said we all fall short, meaning the Israelites, because we only give them the law. We all fallen short. But Abraham proved his righteousness by obedience. That's why, remember when Saul went to the king, Saul went to the two kings, the Lord said to destroy everything. Saul saved a couple sheep because the people wanted to. So you disobey the Lord's commandment for the people. And then it comes in at, I think it's 1 Samuel, the 15th chapter, where it says, but God would rather that you obey rather than sacrifice. So he wanted to keep those sheep to sacrifice.
So he didn't follow orders.
He didn't follow orders.
That shows disbelief.
And what the scripture said, the scripture says, disobedience is as the sin of witchcraft. And what the Lord say about witches? Suffer not a witch to live. So disobedience is synonymous with death. Hey, wear your car seatbelt. Wear your seatbelt. You don't wear your seatbelt. 2 years you don't wear your seatbelt. Then one day you don't wear your seatbelt, you get into a terrible accident. Now you're in critical condition. You're ICU. You're comatose.
You flew through the
because you were disobedient. You didn't want to listen. You were projected through the windshield. You scared on your face for 30 feet. Because you were disobedient. Why didn't you just wear your seatbelt? You know?
Verse 10 is beautiful, but we're at verse 8. Romans 4 and 8. Verse 9. Cometh this blessedness upon the circumcision only, or upon the uncircumcision also? For we say that faith is reckoned to Abraham for righteousness. How was it then reckoned? When he was in circumcision or uncircumcision?
That's heavy.
Right.
That's heavy because prior to circumcision, the Lord already chose Abraham. Then he said, this is a covenant between me and your seed. Every male child on the 8th day must be circumcised, even the strangers in your house. So he already seen Abraham as righteous before the circumcision even came about. That's why Paul was getting on those in the book of Acts when they were saying, oh, they're uncircumcised. He was like, why? He said, why is there so much contention against those who circumcise and those who don't circumcise? He said, won't you circumcise your mind? He made it spiritual because they wanted to be carnal. Because you didn't do this, you can't. No, won't you circumcise your mind? Because if we're all under the law, then we all die. Because if you break one, you break them all.
If we rely on being saved and justified by the law, then the
YAHAWASHI died in vain.
Bingo.
Right. Facts.
It says, verse 9, cometh this blessedness upon the circumcision only, or upon the uncircumcision also?
Right.
For we say that faith is reckoned to Abraham for righteousness. How was it then reckoned? When he was in circumcision or uncircumcision?
Right.
Not in circumcision, but in uncircumcision.
Not in circumcision, but in uncircumcision. Right.
And he received a sign of circumcision, a seal of the righteousness of faith, which he had yet being uncircumcised.
Let me back you up really quick. This is This is Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 4. It says, circumcise yourselves to the Lord, and take away the foreskin of your heart, ye men of Judah and inhabitants of Jerusalem, lest my fury come forth like fire, and burn that none can quench it, because of the evil of your doings. He clearly says, circumcise your heart, your mind. Bruce Lee said it. Bruce Lee said you gotta empty your cup. So everything that you was taught before, you gotta forget it. You have to be relearned, reprogrammed, recalibrated again. Right? So that's what it means. That's what it means by circumcise your mind. You gotta trim the fat. You don't eat the fat, you trim it, you cut it, and you throw it away. That fat is all that RAM, all the catch, all that stuff that you got built up that you don't need. All the duplicate files, apps you haven't used for 6 months, all that stuff in your mind, you gotta just get rid of.
The old man.
The old man dies off. That's what it means to be born again. You're not that guy anymore. They look at you differently. You don't celebrate Thanksgiving, bro?
Right.
You don't go to the club anymore? You don't chase women no more? They haven't seen you in over a year. You changed, you lost weight, you look different, you're vibrant, you're glowing. They look at you like you got 7 heads. Cause that old man is dead. They don't know who the hell you are anymore. Not that same guy. I like that meme say, hey, you're not that guy, buddy. You're not that guy. You know, that's how they look at you.
But at the same time, they don't got nothing bad to say because all we're doing is...
They don't have nothing bad to say.
Yeah.
They'll talk evil of you as if like, oh, because you don't run with them no more.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't bang with us no more. You don't hang with us anymore. But you can't say I'm malicious.
Or, yeah, we're not out here getting any trouble or anything.
Exactly. We're not being offensive towards anyone. But if you get offended, that's on you. I can't control your actions or your feelings.
Yeah.
I can only speak the truth. You can accept it or not. And now they start to veer away from you. And like you said, they ain't got nothing bad to say. They just in their feelings. All right, whatever. Manage your feelings.
Romans 4:11, and he receiveth the sign of circumcision, a seal of the righteousness of faith, which he had yet being uncircumcised, that he might be the father of all them that believe, and they be not circumcised, that righteousness may be imputed unto them also.
And that goes back to faith. That was the whole purpose of camp today. Of all those who do believe. You understand? Because faith is the substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen. And by it, the elders had a good report. That's why I give double honor to the elders, because those men that was preaching on the corners
Before we were
way before I was even born. Bro, I'm talking about way before social media. They was out there with camcorders recording themselves in the 90s.
I seen that one too.
Yeah, so imagine from the 90s all the way up to 2023, they're doing the same thing, and everything they've been speaking about is coming to pass. That's crazy in a beautiful way. If you believe, it's like, wow, they've been talking about this for decades and it's happening. You know? So by the foolishness of preaching to say those that do believe, because they can see, it's like a vision. You never make it. You never get famous. You never make money. Those are people that can't see the vision that person has. You know? Yeah. Like you can use Michael Jordan as an example. A lot of people don't know. Michael Jordan, he didn't even make his high school basketball team. So somebody who was weak-minded, they'll say, I'm never playing basketball. He said, no, I'm gonna overcome that. The man telling him that he couldn't make the team, the man that told him that he couldn't make the team, he didn't have to defeat that man. He had to defeat himself. So he became a better version of himself. Because the man thought the older version wasn't good enough. So he beat his old self. He beat himself. Every day you wake up, you always fight against yourself. You are your own worst enemy. Paul said it, "Oh wretched man that I am. Yeah. What good thing is there in me?" Well, you said it earlier. There is a way that seemeth right in the man, but the end there is death.
It's death, yeah.
Paul was the same one. His name was Saul. He was the same one that persecuted the church. Remember Stephen?
Silent.
Stephen got stoned to death. Salakia. Stephen got stoned to death. And they dropped his garments in front of Paul. Paul thought what he was doing was right. YAHAWASHI showed up on the scene. Saul, why persecutest thou me? It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. Because YAHAWASHI is the body. So he thought what he was doing, persecuting the church, was right. That would have led to his death. But he was a chosen vessel to do what? Go to the Gentiles who were Israelite foreigners. So that's what he meant by, oh, wretched man that I am. Because he's done things in his life, he's worthy of death. He was forgiven for that, though.